This is our channel Moon Rising Brigade. We travel, we live with our fluffy companions, and nothing ever goes quite as planned. Real stories, real life on the move. Subscribe and travel with us. So, we went to check out a new spot last weekend, as we usually do. And that spot turned out to be Chaalis Abbey. To be honest, I had no idea what to expect. I just knew it has some ruins, a chapel, and maybe a garden. We got there, and immediately, everything started to happen. The camera was full, memories gone. All the things that could go not by plan, they went that way. So we were standing there deleting old footage like, let us in, Chaalis, we're ready. Dogs aren't allowed off leash there, which we found out right away. But at first we were like, okay, sure, probably just a rule. Later, we have discovered exactly why dogs aren't allowed to run free, and that part is coming. Anyway, we start exploring. And the buildings, it was a bit confusing at first, because there's one that's clearly a ruin, very dramatic, very collapsed in an aesthetic way. And then there's another one. There is a smaller building which looked pretty modest until we went inside. Turns out that little one is the Renaissance chapel. I went in and it was like, what? It was full of Italian frescoes in every surface. Super intimate, super beautiful, absolutely unexpected in a building that looks like it could be a glorified shed from the outside. Absolutely stunning. And here's the history kicks in. So, back in the 1500s, Chaalis was handed over to Cardinal Ippolito d'Este. And this guy, he was made cardinal when he was 10 years old. Why? Because he was the son of Lucrezia Borgia. Now, Lucrezia was one of those historical women who's been called everything. An angel, a poisoner, a victim, a villain, a patron of the arts. Let's just say she was definitely anything but boring person. So her son, our boy Ippolito, he didn't exactly live like a monk. He took one look at this abbey and basically went, what if this was a villa? And he made it look like a villa. He threw parties in there, hosted ladies dressed as nuns, and spent an absurd amount of money decorating the chapel with frescoes that probably cost as much as the rest of the estate combined cost. The actual monks, they were furious. I mean, imagine devoting your life to silence and poverty, and then the next door is the Renaissance version of a bachelorette party. After that, we walked into the garden. Back in the day, Ippolita had it laid out with pergolas and little pavilions, probably designed for more private conversations, if you know what I mean. Discreet strolls with ladies in flowing dresses and zero woes of chastity. The garden looks probably amazing in spring. But now it's not spring, in summer, when the roses are fully blooming, but not now. Then we made our way to the lake, and this is where things got escalated. There I was, filming, enjoying the moment, and suddenly, the goose, or maybe a swan, I'm still not sure, comes charging at me, wings out, beak open, full rage. I ran. Actually ran. And in the process, I lost my microphone. My precious little Osmo Pocket mic. now presumably owned by the local bird mafia. I guess that's why dogs aren't allowed off leash. And honestly, at this point I wasn't even sure who we were protecting, the geese from the dogs or the dogs from the geese, because those birds are confident. They walk like they pay rent, you know? Anyway, after I recovered from the avian ambush, we took turns going inside the main building, what used to be the monks' residence. And let me tell you, there is nothing monkish about it now. It's a billiard table, but there are no holes for your balls. So it's giving a private Versailles impression. And that thanks to Nélie Jacquemart-André, who bought the place in early 1900s. She was a Parisian collector who turned the ruins into her own personal art palace. Guys, there's a Choo-Choo's relative. Right here. Some lévrier. I think this one is a lévrier, Spanish. Crystal. And it's not just the crystals, it's crystal which is looking quite sophisticated. Things were very, very beautiful. I think when you eat and drink in such environment, even the food tastes differently. So, would I recommend visiting Chaalis Abbey? Absolutely. But this is important, to go in the right season. We were there in early spring, which has its charm, of course. But the rose garden, one of the highlights of this place, and it wasn't blooming yet. So if you want that full fairy tale atmosphere with all the flowers in bloom and the garden in full color, then you need to go in summer. Maybe late May, July ideally. That's when they also host their Days of the Rose Festival with fresh petals, rose products, and now a few tips from someone who got chased by a goose. Dogs are allowed, but only on a leash. And trust me, that's for everyone's safety, including your dog's dignity. Tickets are super affordable, it's somewhere around €10. You can get access to the grounds, the chapel, the museum, and the rose garden. Bring your camera, drone if you have, because the ruins from above are spectacular. Also, do yourself a favor and buy this rose soap. It's handmade from petals grown right here in the garden, and it smells like somebody bottled nostalgia and elegance together. Yeah. And one last thing. Don't let the geese see fear. They know it. They smell fear. And subscribe to our channel. Follow us for more adventures.